Hi, I'm Valina. Welcome to my channel, or if you are returning, welcome back, and I'm happy to have you. And, well, you see the title. And it's probably not going to be what you think. Of course, if any of you watched me last year for Halloween, I did gain a few subscribers there. I actually did what I called Valina's 31 Days of Spectacular Scares. And I gotta shout her out. I believe she's the very first person I ever subscribed to, Haley Reese. She calls it 31 Days of Halloween, so I wanted to call mine something different. But you may have expected, if you've caught any of my videos talking about being a Christian, you may have expected me to put it down. No, that's not what I'm here for. In fact, I know that some people do use Halloween as a time to do things they shouldn't. And I don't just mean the dark, dark stuff. I mean, just sometimes your average kids, I guess especially like, you know, well, I was going to say teenagers, but the younger ones can do it too. Playing pranks on people. I, I remember where I lived one Halloween, just an innocent little town. And I forget what it was. I think a store or something was set on fire. But crazy things like that. But no, my experience with Halloween has been, well, actually, as a child, I didn't really get to celebrate it. Not like most kids my age did. Um, Usually what it consisted of was, it was Halloween. I had to have a costume. Let me explain that I lived way back in the country. Yes, way back in the country. Down a lane, up a hill. And my grandparents lived, you know, further down the lane and further up the lane. We've had neighbors before. One of them that has deceased came up when I did a Reiki session. It's a two-part in last year's Halloween, and actually, one of my neighbors came through, and that was pretty touching. And yes, I do believe in things like that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I had to go out and get a costume. Usually from the store. We had the dime store, small town living, and that was over in another town. But usually, all I really got to do was, and I appreciate them. I went to down the lane to my grandparents, maybe to the neighbors sometimes. I think once or twice to the neighbors and to my aunts that didn't live that far away. And it was just me. My sister is 14 years older than me, so she, by the time I was old enough to think about they start young though. But by the time I was really old enough to pay attention to it, she was married, and out of the house. But okay, now I will give her credit on one thing. We don't always get along. I blame it on the age difference. Maybe we're just too different. I don't know. But she did do something nice for me. I think I was around, how was I? 7 or 8, maybe. I don't, something like that, I would say. And it was her first marriage, and where she lived, she was in a good area, and they still checked the candy, but you know she, you know, she knew the people. I knew the people for the most part around there, and myself, and I don't remember, I think she knew the grandmother, and she had to do something. It was a boy I went to school with. His grandmother couldn't take him. Maybe she just didn't feel like it. But it was her and my mom took me and him out trick or treating. And that was the only time I really got to, you know, really trick or treat. And yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And now that I've gotten older, nothing's changed. I'm a Christian. Like I said, I'm a Christian. And have I heard stories about it? Yes, I have. But I'm someone who likes to make my own mind up about things. I mean, I'm not saying I would go against something that I know is wrong. I wouldn't do that. Not intentionally, not ever. Um, but I always, okay, by the time I moved from the little town I was talking about to another little town that had more going on than what I lived in, was more of a country town. And this was where we moved when I was 11. It was more of a, there's more going on. And I remember, you know, because they had an age limit on it. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I was 11. It was the first year I was there. Or was I 12? I was 11 or 12. But anyway, we had some good neighbors and they had grandchildren. And even though I had made friends in school, you know, some really cool people, I got to be really close with the neighbors' grandchildren. I was so homesick, and they really, I don't know if I ever told them then or not. I probably should. They really, really made a difference in my life. But anyway, it was getting late. I know now they only have it for like a couple of hours. The one, you know, and there's not a whole, I'm going to talk about that. I don't think there's a lot of actual trick or treating anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. You can let me know about your area. But uh, it was longer back then, and it was getting late. There was like maybe an hour of it left, and no costume, no nothing. And yeah, he was just a guy friend. He was like family. One of the older grandsons. He was a year or so older than me. Came over and he he wanted to go trick or treating. I said, "How are we gonna go trick or treating? No costumes." Of course, he probably made some kind of joke that I didn't like. I could lay it back on him though. But no, we were buddies. But okay, he talked me into it, right? Okay, so we go out trick or treating, and I have to say most people were nice. They might have kind of looked at us funny, but they were nice. Um, we got candy. I don't know. We grabbed any old bag, I guess. A Walmart, well, I don't know, yeah, I guess Walmart, dollar store, or whatever. And most people were nice about it. But we had this one that actually lived beside me, and we hit them on the way back. And maybe she thought she was doing the right thing, okay. But um, she told us she was saving the candy for the younger kids. That's fine. That's fine. I was okay with it. But it just so happened, I don't know if it was because it was Halloween, they were afraid something would happen or not. But my dad used to drive a truck. He hauled feed. And usually he left it sitting, at at his work. But for some reason that night he drove it home, and it was, you know, a big truck, and or maybe something was wrong with his vehicle. I can't really remember, but I remember the truck was there, And believe me, you could hide behind it. And now this was not my idea. I talked about doing things. But, okay, I did laugh. If you hear something jingling, it's Milky. Oh, yeah, she's going to need nose drops. So if I have to pause and give her medicine, I might just have to do that. Or I might just move in here. Love you, Milky. Love you, baby. She's so sweet. But anyway, back to my story. I hope she doesn't think I'm trying to get away from her, but she's had her nap. And anyway, back to my story. Um, we went to this person's apartment. Okay, it was she. I'll say it was a she. And she said she was saving her candy for the younger kids. Okay, fine by me. But we'll call him. What will we call him? We'll call him Alex. Not his real name. I'll just call him Alex. Made up name. He was kind of ticked off about it. And I didn't even know he had these. He wanted to make her pay. And he was a good kid. He really was. But, kids will be kids. And we were still kids. He had firecrackers. And I said, don't do that. I told him, I said, don't do that. That's not cool. But, he was determined. He didn't like being told no. And he runs over, lights a firecracker, and puts it on our little porch. It goes off, and I'm already behind the truck. I'm hiding behind the truck. And he comes over and hides. And we're watching her. She can't see us, but we're watching her. And nobody got hurt. Thank God nobody got hurt. I have heard of them causing, injuries. And it just, I wouldn't have wanted that, no. But like I said, it wasn't my deal. And he wasn't a bad person either. It was just a thing. And she come out after it went off and just looked this way and that way. And I don't know. She probably suspected us. I don't know. I don't even know where she is now. I have no idea. I guess if she hears this, she'll know. But anyway, no. So I never really got to, except, the one, doing what I said I did, going, to just chosen places. And when my sister took me and a friend from school that, whose grandmother, who, had custody of him, I think she had custody of him, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he was just visiting. Um, she and Mom took us out trick-or-treating. But, and I have to say, I have a lot more I could talk about, but I know I'm gonna run out of time, and I don't wanna bore you. I really, as an adult, as a Christian, like I said, I like to make my own mind up. And there goes Milky. I like to make my own mind up about something. And as long as you're doing no evil to anyone, I don't think there's anything wrong with Halloween or trick-or-treating. I really don't. I mean, in living where I did, I'd been watching that night until Alex came along. And I enjoyed seeing the kids in their costumes. I mean, it was fun. And I remember my dad counted, it was over 100. I forget how much, over 100. And the only reason they turned the light out, Mom and Dad did, was because we ran out of candy. And I think Dad even gave some change for a while before he had to do that. So we all enjoyed it. And, later on as I got older, a teenager, I enjoyed, handing out, the candy to kids. And so, yeah, I think everything is what you make it. That's what I'm trying to say. And for those of you that are trick or treating, if anybody that young is listening, and if you have children, please, please, please be careful. As I was getting ready to say, where I am now in this town, we don't have trick or treaters, or we haven't so far. And I wish we did. But I think things have gotten kind of bad. I don't want to go into that, but if people don't want to hand out candy to kids, they can just simply turn their light off and not be bothered. But some people have done some evil things, they really have. And I think it's mostly gone to like festivals for kids, and was that trunk or treat? I may say that wrong. I'll correct it if I did. Um, those things seem like they're safer for kids, but it's sad it has to be that way. It really is. If you're the type that doesn't want to be bothered, just don't do anything mean. I mean, that's ridiculous. Keep your door locked, turn your light off. It's that simple. But no, other than that, people can make anything evil. And I know, I've been taught from the Bible where it started and how it started. Like I said, I like to make my own mind up about something. And no, I don't feel like there's anything wrong. So I hear Milky sneezing. Gonna have to give her some medicine, so I'm gonna cut this short. I mentioned in my one video I did, I have more stories for you, and I do. One of them is really, really dark, and I'm nervous about getting into it. But I feel like it's a story. It's a part of a series, and it's based on something that really happened. There is a book to it. And I think more attention should be drawn to it. I keep thinking there'll be a movie, but there's not. Not yet. I think someday there might be. And I've got personal experiences I could talk about. I don't have a lot to bring to the table, but I do have some experiences. You're always afraid someone will not believe you when you tell it. I like Haley. She just puts it out there. And Haley Reese, I do highly recommend her channel. And I need to get caught up with her because, I'm not appearing on screen because, things have just not been so great. I'm feeling better. I really am. But still, it's like almost 9:30 and I don't look like being on camera. But anyway, Haley, she's really, I'm going to recommend, she's got like over 1 million subscribers, and she's went all out this year, the ghost hunting thing. I've only done that. I did it last year. I went to, you can go watch it if you want. Went with a former friend to Crybaby Bridge. I think a lot of places have those. Milky, I think she woke up now. She was in there napping on the bed. But actually, there's two of them. And oh my goodness, one is worse than the other. And I'm so glad we didn't make a mistake and go to I'll talk about that maybe. We went to the one that was just supposed to be haunted. The other was supposed to be darker. But I may or may not talk about that one. The subject of it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. But anyway, let's see, I did that when I was a kid. I went to that same bridge when I was a kid with, I don't know if my dad was along or not. Mom was, and my sister and her first husband, and to Crybaby Bridge. And I thought I heard something. I don't know if I imagined it or not. I still don't know. If you want to go watch, there are 2 episodes, and we did this on Halloween night, and we thought we heard something, or we thought we saw something. Oh, I just had a feeling. No, we didn't hear anything. Silence. We heard silence. But I don't know. I felt uneasy. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. But he said he did too. Like he couldn't wait. to get the car going to get out of there. He's like had a dread. So I don't know if you want to go watch that. It's in a playlist. Please feel free to do that. I'm not doing the 31 days this year, but I decided not to. But anyway, Milky, no boy. The joys of loving a cat. Oh, yeah, there she goes. Found a little collar and put on her. It's a Halloween collar. But, and then, let's see. I remember one time there was a story of a haunted barn. It was in the same area where I grew up as a child. And I remember me, mom, and dad, and my cousin that was staying with us going to check that out, but we didn't really see anything. So I think that's me. If I think of anything else, I'll tell you. That does it for me and ghost hunting. But anyway, I do have some stories for you. And look, I'm not going to say this to be rude. Okay, I'm not really. I appreciate everyone who views my videos or likes them. But I haven't been getting a lot of views. I haven't been getting a lot of likes. Maybe I'm just not the YouTuber for you. And if that's the case, that's fine. Um, I've been guilty too. I haven't been really working hard toward my channel the way I should. I know that. But even when I do, it seems like it's hopeless. But maybe it just takes a while to get back. I don't know. But I'm just going to say if you got through this and you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you'd like to comment, like I said, I'd like to know in your area. If you want to tell me where you're from, you can. If you don't have to. But do you have trick-or-treaters? What do you all do? If there are kids in your family, or maybe, you're trick-or-treating age, what do you do? And if you'd like to subscribe, that'd be great. I'm not going to beg. But anyway, I do appreciate you listening. And I will be on screen. I actually do have a Halloween background. I had a lot of plans for October. I also missed. I'm a Swiftie. Yeah. I wanted to react. My CD was late. But that's no excuse. I could have done it another way. But I don't know. Things are starting to feel better about myself, okay? But anyway, you don't want to hear about that. But anyway, if you'd like to subscribe, yeah, I would appreciate it. But I won't beg. That's just me. But anyway, thank you for listening. If you made it this far. And I hope you have a great one, whatever it is when this finds you. And I'm going to say, as I always like to end it, be blessed and stay thankful. Bye.